When it comes to the methods of Satan and how he tries to manipulate us to actually act independently from God, we come to stealing. Now, stealing is taking someone else's possession that you have no right or permission to actually possess. It is actually a major theme within the world system. Now, there are many different occupations where theft is really seen as something that is acceptable or normal. This could be in getting somebody to pay for something that they don't need or overpay for something. Companies that put up false sales, that is, they raise their prices slowly until they can then put them back onto a sale price, which actually is just the original price 6 months ago. And it'll go back to that after the sale. These are all fraudulent things that are built into the world system. However, for Christians, stealing should not be a part of our life. Ephesians chapter 28 and verse 27 says, "The one stealing, let him steal no more, but rather labor while working with his hands the good, in order that he should have to give to the one having need." You see, if we're going to suffer for something, let's not suffer for doing wrong. Let's suffer for doing what is right. And Peter expresses this in 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 15 and 16, where he says, "For let none of you suffer as a murderer, nor a thief, nor wrongdoer, nor busybody, but as Christians, not ashamed, and let him show a proper opinion of God in the midst of this." Ultimately, stealing comes back to acting independent from God. And of course, this is exactly what Satan wants us to do. He wants us to act independently from God. We're not looking at things as they really are. What we're doing is basically trying to take something that we have no right to. We're not paying attention to what God's will is for our life. So remember, when it comes to what God has for us in our lives, if we ask for something according to his will, he has promised he will give it to us. With that promise, that would mean that we have no need to steal anything in our lives. Because the reality is God will provide everything we need, but he's going to do it according to his will. He's not going to do it so that we can consume it of the desires of our flesh. So if we don't have it, let it be. It's not for us. And this, of course, goes back to taking God at his word, because one who is stealing really isn't taking God at his word. We need to learn to be content in whatever situation God places us in. Philippians chapter 4 and verse 11. "Not that according to need I speak, for I on my part have learned in which I am to be self-sufficient." And that concept of self-sufficient there, being content with what God has actually given to us. When the temptation to steal comes upon us, we need to remind ourselves of who we are and who we belong to. We are not part of this world system. Yes, we actually live in it, but we don't use it up to its full. We are ones who should be walking in a way to where we're honest. We are ones who should not be stealing. And we should be showing a proper opinion of God through our actions to those around us, so that we truly do glorify God by living out who we are in Christ. Taking him at his word and trusting him in whatever situation we're in to provide what we need. Because remember, God really does care about us.